Hello and welcome. So, I'll grant you, business cards may not be the shiny new thing in the world. However, they are a great way to get the word out about your business. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your very own business cards quickly and easily in Canva, and then order professional, affordable prints of those cards from inside Canva. And I promise you, you can do this, okay? This is not anything to stress over. Actually, it can be a lot of fun. So hang on, we're going to dive right in. Okay, so yes, I know, right? You're like, business cards, really? That's so old. They're really not. Business cards are an evergreen kind of thing. And it's something that far too many people are not using as part of their business. And that's a shame because it's not really that hard or expensive to do, and they are so valuable. So let me just quickly throw out a couple of ideas on how and why you want to use these as part of your business plan. The why I'm going to cover now, the how I'm going to explain at the end, because I want to get right into how to create these for the people who are only interested in that. But just real quick, for those of you who might need some reason to do this, right? It is the type of thing, like a business card immediately gives your business a certain amount of prestige, right? It immediately gives you more of a professional, established business kind of feel. And it's the kind of thing people kind of expect. So it's really good thing to have around. They're also super easy to have on hand, right? You can keep a couple in your bag, by the register, wherever. And they're also something easy to give out, and people will keep them for future reference, which is a great idea. We did talk about, some people just expect them these days. It also is a really good way. We all think our memories are better than they are. And so I'm sure some of you have awesome memories out there, not me. And in the moment, I always think, I'm going to remember this store name. I'm going to remember the URL for their website. I'm going to go check them out. And then poof, I go and I do something else and it's gone. Whereas when I get that business card in my hand and I put it in my wallet or in my bag, when I have that thought and I can't remember it, I know that I've got the card and I can go pull it out and have it handy. So that for me is like the be all and end all reason for having it. Don't let people forget you. It's so easy and cheap to hand out business cards, and it's a great way for them to remember you in the moment when they're going to need you. You don't want to not be the first thought in their head when they need your goods or services, right? And they're just a real easy way of marketing and getting your business name out there. Letting people know about where you are on socials. Like, you get so much in these little cards that it's really silly to not make use of them. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, because if you're here, the odds are pretty good you're already sold on the idea of business cards. But in case you needed a little nudge, I wanted to get that taken care of. Okay, so I am going to show you how to do this inside Canva. It is super, super easy because you have the choice. You can start from scratch if that's what you want to do, or you can pick a template and then customize the template. And that's the key here. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just use the template. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but there are going to be other people who do that too. And you want it to have your company, your business's personality. So you don't have to get carried away, but you need to make some changes to it to make it your own, right? Actually, before we go too far into that, let me just introduce myself to those of you who are new here. My name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. The reason behind this channel is because technology is my day gig and my hobby, so I live inside of it, which means everybody I know turns to me when they have a question, when they need help, when they're looking for advice, but not everybody has somebody like that in their life. So I come here every week and I do this show for you so that you have now me to turn to. And you can always feel free to reach out if you have a question, or if you have an idea for a show. Just go to the website, yourtechcoach.net. There's a contact form there. Just hit me up. One favor, if you want an answer quickly, make sure you give me a way to get back in touch with you so that I can do that. Otherwise, I'll have to save it for another show, which is okay too. All right, so let us get going here. Now, Canva, for those of you who may not know, comes in two forms. There is a desktop and there is a... Hey, I got it on the first try. So this is the desktop version. Okay, and then this over here, I'm sorry, this one is the desktop version. It's very hard to tell apart. This is the desktop version here that you're looking at. Okay, and the first one I showed you is the browser version. For all intents and purposes, they do the same thing. At some point in the future, I'm sure there'll be a few things that the desktop version can do that others won't, but maybe not. Who knows? I mean, browser tools are so versatile, but if you prefer to have a desktop version, you can. It works on Windows or it works on Mac, so everybody is covered. But to be honest, I'm going to do it in the browser, so that's where I'm going to start you off. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and do Search Canva. I'll say I did this already, but you just put in business card. Here, I'll do it. Okay, and then you can choose business card, which would be, you know, your standard format, or if you want a vertical one, they've got those too, so I'll show you that. So this is what I mean by they give you templates. Oh my goodness, do they give you templates and templates and templates. For the purposes of my little walkthrough demo today, we're going to go with just the standard one because that's what most people use, but hey, if you want to be a little different about it, by all means, go ahead and do the vertical one. Okay, so let me get the right one up here. Okay, hello. I know people think I'm not here if I'm not actually on the screen. So like I said, you can choose to create a blank. You can just click here and create the blank card if you want, or you can scroll through and find whichever one catches your fancy, feels like it's a general good fit for your business, that type of thing. This does go on and on. Lots of different choices. So let's see. Let me just, usually there's something there. So we'll just pick, this is a nice, you know, generic kind of template. There's a couple of good reasons to use a template. One of all, if you're not a graphic designer, this has already been graphic designed, so you just need to switch it out, right? So obviously, if you sell clothes, the food picture, maybe not so helpful. Or if you're in IT, again, maybe the food picture not so helpful. Maybe this little icon not so much, the font. But the point is, by just changing out the logo, the font, and an image, you're good to go. You've got your custom designed, personalized business card. The other thing about this, and you don't have to use both sides, but if you wanted to do a two-sided card, they have the different layouts for the two sides. So it makes it super easy and fun. All right, so let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So like you're looking at this, you're like, okay, you know, that's great, but food is not really doing it for me. So you can come over here. Is this on? Yes, okay, I want to make sure it was on the screen. You can just click on photos. Now I am using the pro version, but you can absolutely do this with the free version. So you can come in here and you can search for something. Let's see. You know what? What should we do? I should have asked somebody for a business idea. Oh, well, let's just do technology. That's me, right? So we'll just do tech. You can put it in any word, and like you get all kinds of things here. So let's say, okay, well, you know, I kind of like this picture here because it's kind of got my colors in it and it's kind of a techie thing without being, you know, too specific about which technology. So what you do, whoops, is you pick the image and you can scroll through and pick. If you don't, so the images are included in Pro. But you can see there's free ones here too. So it says free down here. If you decide that a Pro picture is perfect for you, then what you can do, actually, you know what? I'm going to change it out to that one. I kind of like this one. If you decide that, you know, one of the Pro ones is, you can buy them. You can, I think they're like $1 a piece still. So if there is a picture that's not a part of the free program for Canva that you really want to use, you pay $1 and you can use it. So it's not a big deal either way. So I like this image, right? Okay, and then you see what happened. Like, I don't even have to remove this image that's here. All I have to do is take this and hover over it, and it places it for me. Now, if you decide, you know, I don't like that placement, you can double click, and then you can like rearrange it a little bit, you know, to get maybe different pieces into it. So you can play with it a little bit, and just depending on the size of the source image, you have more or less to play with. You can also, I don't think it works so much for this one. Come on. Some of the ones are really large, so then you can go in and you can actually resize it, but this one is pretty much designed for this. I just kind of landed on a good one. So let me see. I'm going to put this here. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted those little happy faces as a part of it. So that's it. I've already changed this, right? It already looks dramatically different. Now, of course, this font doesn't really work for this particular layout. But when you click on this, you see that this is made up of 2 text blocks. And if up here in the corner, there's this little drop list, and it shows you what the current font is, right? And then you can choose to change it. Now, personally, okay, I don't do everything in all uppercase because It reduces the readability and retention in the human brain. Human brains do better with upper and lowercase. However, if stylistically that's what you want to do with it, it's a business card. It's not, you're not rewriting War and Peace. So it's not the end of the world if you are a person who's like feels very strongly they want it all uppercase. But by coming up here, you can change it between the two. So you just click on this big A, little a, and it changes it from one to the other. Right? So let's say I was going to change it to, my, would help if I could spell, business name goes here. Okay, so it would be your business name, obviously, right? Now, again, I'm like, that's okay, but I don't really love that kind of brownish color. So you can either just select the box or you can select the text, whatever works for you. And if you go up here and you hover, you see a letter A with a line of color underneath it. It says text color. If you click here, it brings you to the color palette. Now you can create, you can pick any color you want here, by dragging around until you get a color that you like, and you see it changing down here. But the other cool thing about Canva is it makes it really easy for you to, again, have that super professional look, because one of the subtle things that professional graphic designers do is when you're using an element of some sort, like an image or a drawing or whatever, they carry the colors that are in that image over into the rest of the piece that they're working on. Canva tells you right here are the colors that you might want to think about using because they're in this image. So like if I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, let's try that. That could work. I kind of like that because I'm very much into the teal, in case you haven't noticed. Or you can go with that. Or, you could totally just come here and say, you know what, I want it to be black. And that's totally fine too. Then you could come down here and say, this is my tagline. So if you have a tagline for your business, you could put it down here, or you could put a little saying down there. You could put whatever you want here. It's your business card. So this is my tagline. Okay, and again, you can switch between all uppercase or what they call, title case. Right? So again, I don't really dig this color or this font, so I'm going to change the font. Now, because it's a little thing down the bottom here, I'm going to have a little fun with it, and I'm going to pick a random font here. There's tons of them here. Also, if you're on the Pro plan and you have a font that maybe you paid for, you had designed for your company, or you just bought, you can upload those in here. Let's try this one. Let's see what I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go with that. I don't know why I keep moving this, but if you Control Z, it goes back. So again, I don't love that color, so I'm going to come up here and go maybe with the dark teal. And now let's say you feel like that's too small. Now, keep in mind that this is, it's a business card, so it's going to be about so big. But you can certainly bump it up. So you can come up here and you can either, pick a font size, you can type in a font size, or if you just want to test it, you can kind of bump it up a little bit. I think I'm going to bump it up a little bit just because that's me and that's what I like. So here I've got my business name, here I've got my tagline. Hey Biz, how you doing? Thank you. So this way, right, now we've already changed it. If you remember what it looked like before, and I should have, let me see, actually I have it here, right? So this is what it looked like before. Here, we can bring that up in another window so we can keep comparing, right? Which is great for a food business, but not so much for me. And just with, what if I've changed the text, I've changed the color of the text, I've changed a font, and I put an image in, and I've already made a big change in it, right? This starts to feel more like me. So now I want to put my logo in. Now this is something, and again, this is something you can do with the free or the paid plan, is you can upload stuff. So I'm guessing that this, in the example one, was the logo. So I'm going to put my logo up there, which I have conveniently already uploaded. Actually, I have to update it because I actually cleaned this up. Whoopsie. Come on, come on, come on. Usually that jumps right into that little box, but that's not happening. Why is that not happening? It's not happening. There we go. It's not happening because I was doing a demo. That's why. So if you hold Shift, if sometimes your image gets cropped, that'll bring that crop back. So you'll notice when I'm moving this, whoops, go back. Let me move this again. You see how these lines appear? This is helping you line things up. So if I leave it here, it's sort of in line, but not quite with the text underneath it. And you want that visually to be lined up on the left. So by doing this, and I get that line nice and lined up there you go. It's all lined up for me. So here we go, right? We've already got the front of my card because I'm choosing to do two-sided. Remember, you don't have to. But again, now we went from this to this, which feels much more like me. Then you can come down and do the same thing with the other side. Now, you could put a different image here. You could just do a color, right? If you really wanted to, you could just take, let's just take a shape, right? And I guess these don't snap in. I wonder if they have color. Let's see if they have photos in colors. Here we go. So if you just wanted a color in here on the back, instead of having the image on both, you could certainly do that, right? Or something like that. Or something like that. I will warn you, so there are two things I should probably warn you about with this. One is, if you're anything like me, fonts can be a rabbit hole that you go down and get lost in for quite a while. The same thing with these kinds of images, right? Because you start playing with it and you're like, well, I kind of like that. But what about this, right? Because each one has a different feel to it. Now, this kind of works with what I had chosen for the front because it's kind of like a fun feel to it, right? As the same as this. This kind of feels more like the watercolor kind of look that parts of this image has. So you can build a business card in 10 minutes, absolutely, and create a great one. I'm just warning you that playing with these kinds of things can sometimes turn it into more of a time thing because you're just having a good time. So you know what? I'm going to do this. I kind of like the way this looks with this. So the front of the card would look like this and the back of the card would look like this, right? So then again, you would come here and put, you know, your name. You would spell your name correctly, I'm quite sure. And then again, you're going to want to know, we didn't change the font here, so we're just going to change the color. And maybe you're going to do that in black. And again, I'm just not a fan of all uppercase. See, it only does the change for you if you've actually done upper and lowercase when you first typed it in. So your name here, and then your title, whatever that would be here. You know, ruler of the world, she who must be obeyed, whatever title works for you. Oops, I'm sorry. It would help if I actually showed you this. Man, I went through that whole thing. Okay, well, we're going to have to go back for a minute. Hang on. Let's undo. I'm sorry. Nobody told me. I'm sorry. It's not your job to tell me. Okay, so let's go back and look at the... So I talked about... See, I start playing with this and I go down a rabbit hole. So the front of the card, right, looks like this. This is what we started with. This is where we're at. Now I'm working on the back of the card. And I could totally take the same image and put it here again, or you could do something else. So I picked, you know, blue, because why not? That's my color, right? And you could try different shades of blue or different patterns. And like I said, this is something that could be a bit of a rabbit hole, but that's just because this is fun. So like, this is fun. This kind of works with the kind of whimsical image I have here. But I decided to go with this because it kind of feels like the watercolor touches that you're seeing up here. Again, it's those little details that really take things to the next level as far as design goes, so that's what I'm going to go with. You, however, can choose whatever you want. You could take this out of here completely and not use it at all. You can take this element out. I don't want to do, well, okay, I will. Okay, there's a little container here, and you could just do a blank card on the back if you wanted to. You don't even have to do the back if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. That's the fun thing about this. You start with, I recommend starting with a template because it just gives you a jumping off point. It gets you going faster. But you can do whatever makes you happy here. So again, I'm going to come up here. Your name goes here. And then again, remember we had left this font, but we did change the color to black. So I'm going to do that here. And it's showing you now, these are, you know, the colors that are currently active in this image. This is the font color. And it's picked up the colors from this image. So you could have a slightly different palette between this view and this view. See how this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? Yes, 5. But when I switch down here, it goes to 5 that match this part of it. So again, it's helping you, but you can of course carry across the colors from before too. But here's my name. I left that font, but I do want to change it to upper and lowercase. Here, you could do your title, whatever funky title you like. Here, let's do your title. Okay, now I did change the font on this, so when you go here and go back to the top, the last fonts that you used are here. So this is the font I selected that I changed the one on the front to. So we're going to do that here again, and we're going to come up here and change the color. And I'm going to go with the teal because I decided I like the teal. And again, I'm going to make it upper and lowercase because that's me. Now, if you decide that you want these left aligned, not right aligned, you can do all of these things in Canva. I'm just trying to give you a quick feel for what it is you can do in this. We will probably at some point have more in-depth options for you, but we'll get that. We'll get to that later. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so we've got those, and then down here, you can do your phone number, you can do your street address if you have a location people come to, your URL, your email addresses, all that kind of stuff. You could also put in your socials. So I'm not going to change any of this because this is not a real card, but I am going to change it to black just so it picks up the other. Whoop. The color didn't change. Oh, because I made it. Here we go. Black, not bold. There we go. Just so it picks up the colors from the other side. Right? You can also, if you wanted to, if you really want to have your logo in both places because you don't know where they're going to be looking, you can totally do that as well. Come on. You do have to fight with it sometimes a little bit. Come on. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't, okay. I didn't put a container in for it. So here, let's do a little container. And then, this is why I fight with it, because I try to cheat it. It doesn't want to be cheated. It likes to have things in containers so it knows what you're trying to do. Right? And then you resize it. So, maybe, maybe you want to stick your logo. And that's don't stress. If something moves that you didn't want to move, that's fine. Oh, here, let me show you. So you can change, if it moved out of the way, maybe you want this in the front. You say, oh, it is already to the forward. So we'll just put this back here. But let's say, you wanted to fill this space here with your logo or put your logo here. You can do whatever you want. I think actually I liked it better over there. Yeah, that's good. I lied. I'm going to change it, right? So yeah, you could add your logo here. So you've got a small one here and a slightly larger one on the front. That totally works. So you've got all this. But let's say that maybe you wanted to put your socials on here. So then maybe what I do is I would move this up here. And again, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to keep it lined up with that. Put this back here. And see, again, I've got this line at the top that's showing me that it's in line with the text, so everything lines up nicely for me. And the other nice thing is it keeps saving for you as you go, so you don't have to worry about losing anything. So let's go over here, and let's search for, not in Uploads, but rather in Elements. Is it Elements? Might be Photos. So let's look for Twitter. Okay, so, whoopsie, again, I forgot to do the element. Hey, we even got a round one. Okay, so I'm going to put Twitter here. Go back, grab this. Come on, get in a little picture hole here. No, why didn't you? All right, well, whatever, that worked. Whee! Just resize it. Now, just a little pro tip here with this particular tool, you don't hold shift to resize it. You would hold shift if you wanted to crop it. That's just how they do things. So you could do that, and then just to make life easy, you could just copy and paste. That way I didn't have to go find the font and do, your Twitter address. And, whoops. I don't think I want to resize that. I do want to left align that now. No, not the whole image. Come back. Oh, sorry. Dog made the scary noise that sometimes means he's about to toss his cookies. Okay. And I am going to make that a little bit smaller, but not too small. You want people to be able to read it. Okay. So then you would just put your Twitter address underneath it. And then you could repeat that for all of the other socials that you wanted to share on here so that people could have it, easily at their fingertips. Now I've got one more idea. Let me just see if I have to go get it. I can't remember if I have this in here or not. I may not. Okay, so let me just get a trying to think. Oh, I must have it on here. I should have thought of this ahead of time. I just had a thought like, oh, this would be really cool too. Okay, but you know what? We'll just real quickly pull one down just as an example. Okay, let me make sure that's going to work. Those of you who have been around here a while probably know where I'm going with this. If not, stick around for a second. Okay, showing folder. Okay, so it's in the downloads folder. All right, one moment. All right, so I'm going to show you real quick how to bring in something, and this is just something else to consider adding to the business card that you're working on. Okay, so let me bring this screen back so you can see what I'm doing. See, I remembered this time. Okay, so I want to upload media, and I want to do it from my device, and I want to go to downloads. Just look here real quick. This is not actually mine. This is just an example I pulled from the web. So, don't use that. If you're going to do this, use your real one. But you can put a QR code on the back of your card or on the front of your card. You can make the whole card the QR code if you want to do that. And if you're curious about what the heck I'm talking about, I did a show about it. But a QR code is a fun, easy way to let people get your information, right? Or take them to your website or give them a discount. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do with it, truly limited only by your imagination. So all I had to do was go up here, search, went to my drive, pulled it, it uploaded it so that it's here. And now I've got this QR code. Okay. Oops, let's go back there. So if you have a QR code and they take seconds to generate, all you need is someplace for the QR code to go to. Like I said, that could be your website URL. It could be, a custom page that you create that offers a discount, whatever. But you can put that on your business card too, as another way to get people the information that they're looking for. So like I said, you obviously could do more socials. You got the QR code, you've got your logo, which you could or could not, you don't have to do these things. These are just ideas I'm throwing at you. I just wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to do it. And if I wasn't messing around so much, I'd already be done. So let me just compare again. So this is what we started with, right? That's the front. Very, very different looking, same exact template, right? Whoops. No, don't need you to be that big. Just gives a different feel to it because I made some personalized changes. And then down here, I made some choices. And when you compare it to the template, again, it feels like a completely different card, which is what you want. You want it to have your personality, the branding of your business, that type of thing. And really not hard. Canva gives you everything you need to do it super, super easy. But wait, there's more. So if you are, done with this and you're like, okay, I'm ready, now how do I order this? Oh, shoot, now I got to find a place to print it. No, you don't have to. It's all taken care of here. So you go up here to the upper right, it says print business cards. That's right, folks, right from here. You can print your design as a business card. It says read size design. I don't know why. I've asked them about that and I'm waiting for a response because it doesn't actually change anything. But what you do is when you click on that button, it brings over your card that you just designed, right? And then, if you changed your mind, you only wanted single, you can see over here in this image, this is changing. It's actually showing you both sides of the card that's going to be printed. If last minute you decide, you know what, I don't really need the back, you can change your mind. You don't have to go back and change anything. And then you come down here and you're like, okay, how much to print? Well, I want both sides, so I want both pages. Right? And then you can choose what kind of paper you want. I'm going to go with premium. That's fine. Do you want a matte finish? Do you want a gloss finish? And it explains it, right? So the matte doesn't have that shine on it. The gloss, of course, does. If you want it uncoated, so it's got the feel of the paper and the ink, you've got that. So you've got a couple of options here. I'm always a fan of matte finishes. And then you can pick how many copies you want. Now, this is, for me, a big deal. Because if you go to a lot of those sites, let me just come back to you for a minute here. If you go to a lot of those sites that do business cards, right? First of all, you're not going to get this level of personalization. Second of all, it's going to cost you more than this. These prices are, I was so shocked when I saw this, when I went to look at it, because these are beyond reasonable. And the other thing with a lot of those sites is like there's usually a minimum order of 1,000. With this one, you can start with 50, right? If you want to test drive this idea, if you're not sure that this is what you're going to want. So yeah, so you can start with as little as 50 copies, and then you can go up to 2,000 copies if you want. And they're offer a discount as you go higher with it. So if you just want to test drive it for $11, yeah, totally. Got 50 copies to give away, that's totally fine. So then, you know, it tells you that's $11, right? And then you can continue. It's, you know, giving you some instructions here as you go around to let you know where things are going to bleed off. This is all fine because the main content is inside the area because you used a template, see? That's the reason you use a template. It takes care of all these little gotchas. So you don't have to worry about it. If you want a more example of it, danger zone, all that means is that when it trims, it may not be exactly that lined up. That's just a printing thing. So you can take a look at it. It gives you all these suggestions and you can just keep going, right? And it's, you know, looking at stuff and it's recommending it and you're good. It's showing you these images. Now this is because if you don't have Pro and you were using an image you had to pay for, that would bump up the price, the whole dollar for the, you know, one image, $2 if you're using two. And then you go here. You can choose to download it if you want to, you know, verify it yourself then. Or you can come in here and you can place your order. So economy is free. Now I'm in the US. I'm sure it's different depending on where you are in the world. If you want standard, if you want to get in 5 to 8 business days, for me it would be $8. If you want express, it would be $25. Me, I'm a fan of the free shipping. You put your name in, a contact, blah, 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 and then you would just go through the regular, you know, like online shopping kind of checkout process. And that's it. In a couple of days, you've got the things that you printed out. You've got your business cards that you can, you know, take and start handing out and using. You'll be all good to go. Did that feel intimidating? I hope it wasn't. If it was, please let me know in the comments because I'll come back and do this again and make it less scary. But there are, you know, tons and tons and tons of templates. And as I mentioned, for anybody who's, you know, maybe joining late, you can, let me drop that. You can do them, you know, in the typical, right, the horizontal view, or you can do vertical. So it's the same process. It's just a different, you know, way of doing them, and it's all totally about what works for you. You know, whatever makes your heart happy, go with that. You don't have to stress over this kind of stuff, right? Just go if something grabs your eye, the odds are that's the right choice to make, so go for it. So that's easy. You go in, you pick a template, you customize it, play around with fonts and colors, and as much or as little as you want. Click on print business cards, and boom, you are ready to go. Now, for those of you who have made it this far, I'm going to give you some extra ideas on how you can use business cards above and beyond the usual, hey, here's my business card, right? So you could do this to create, you know, a loyalty card if you wanted to. You know, we've all been in a sandwich shop, you know, where you get X number of punches and you get a free side or something. You can totally do that with this. You know, you just, on the back, maybe do little circles and then just make sure you get some kind of, you know, unique stamp that won't rub off or be easy to duplicate, you know, all that usual stuff. If you schedule appointments, these are great for that kind of stuff, right? So on the front, you'd put all of your information and everything, and then on the back, you could just do lines to make it an appointment card, and you could just quickly write down the day and time for the appointment and give it to them as a reminder. Super easy, super fun, and I will tell you, like, every time I go to my eye doctor, I make him give me one of these because he tells me, I put it in my phone, but if I don't have that card in my wallet, for some reason, it just never actually registers in my brain because I'm so programmed to have that card with me. So that's a good way to go. Another great use for business cards that people don't think about and why you should give out more than one is referrals. Make it easy for your happy customers, you know, your fans at this point, the people who do business with you all the time. Make it easy for them to refer you out. Give them extra business cards. That way they don't have to write it down or say, oh, I'll email it to you. They can just give their friend the business card and go, here's all the information. Go check them out. I love them. Word of mouth. Is that not the best thing in the world, right? We totally want the word of mouth traffic, so you want to do that. You can also use them for fun, right? You could do a couple of different styles, make them sort of a collectible thing, and then, when your client, collects all of them, they come into your store, or they let you know, maybe you give them a little discount. Or you can just use them as discount cards, right? So you can create regular business cards with how to contact you and who you are, and then you can use this same format to make a discount card that you can give out to them, either with a standard discount number that they have to present the card, or you can, write custom ones on it depending on what kind of business you're doing, but that's a good way to go. Right? I'm sure there's a term for it, but the cards that you get, bag stuffer. Thank you. The bag stuffer idea is great, right? Every time you have an online order or somebody walks out of your shop, or you deliver something to them, throw a couple business cards in there. Make it easy on them, again, to always have your information at their fingertips. Make it easy for them to refer. So you put those in. It's a nice little touch, especially if you're going to do something that's, maybe a little fun. It makes them happy. Also, again, if you're going to go with that idea of doing them as like a collectibles kind of thing, you do 4, 5, 6 different layouts. Every time they place an order, you throw another card in. It's the luck of the draw. Is it the same card as last time? Is it a new card? It adds a little fun and whimsy to the whole process. And hey, why not? There's not enough fun and whimsy in the world today. So there's that kind of thing. The other thing, and this is something that I'm not seeing a lot of people doing, so you can really stand out with it. You can incorporate your business card, your customer, into social media. So you could put something, on the front or the back, or just tell them, hey, take my business card, put it, someplace near, someplace interesting, take a picture of it, put it with your pet, put it in your house, whatever. You can come up with something and say, post it on social with the hashtag that you use for your business, and say that, that you're going to do a giveaway, once a month, that we'll randomly pick somebody and send them, a freebie of some sort, a pen or, a notepad or something. But again, it just makes it more fun, and it helps you with your customer get your word out on social media. So it's a real fun way to do it. This is also another great idea if you're willing to do like the collectible kind of business cards. You could, do 5 of them to start and say, hey, when you get all 5, post on social, and we'll do a call out for you so all of our followers know about you. That kind of thing. So it's something that you could have a lot of fun with. And like in particular, the collectibles thing, I have seen that really start to like catch on. So you could discontinue old cards, do new cards. And so people who have been longtime customers get kind of a bragging rights, for lack of a better word, because they can show off that they've got your original business card set, that type of thing. So again, this is something easy, fun to work with, and it doesn't take a lot of time or money, but you can get so much mileage out of it for engagement and goodwill, and for getting the word out there about your business. I just think it's a big problem that people are not using these, because it's a great opportunity to get the word out there and let it travel wherever it's going to help you find your next customer. So there you go. That's what I have for you. I hope that you found that interesting. I hope you found that interesting enough that you're going to give it a try. If you have any questions or comments about it, please feel free to visit the website, go to the contact form, let me know if you have any concerns, or throw them in the comments. By all means, I check the comments. I will come back. I will absolutely answer any questions. If you want more information about any part of this, I just barely scraped the surface of what you can do in this tool. There's just so much. Like, I could do months of content just on doing this kind of stuff. Oh, and by the way, another extra free tip: not only can you design and print business cards in Canva, you can do all kinds of other stuff. Okay, you can do t-shirts and bookmarks and calendars, and I mean, you name it, you can do it. And again, you can do it all from inside Canva. You don't have to worry about getting the right format, getting it to a printer, having it not work, having to do it all over again. Canva makes the whole thing, soup to nuts, super easy. So you can just go in and do that, and we can get into that. Coffee mugs, pins, I mean, you name it. There is just a ton of stuff you can do inside this tool. It's so much fun. And everything that you do, everything you put your logo on and you share, helps reinforce your brand, helps get the word out there, and that's what you want to do. That's the best way to compete in this world, right? So I am just about getting the mailing list back up. It's working again. So if you'd like to join the mailing list, go ahead and sign up. It's yourtechcoach.net/mailing list. What a surprise. Once it's back up and running again, then you'll get notified about upcoming shows, what the topics are, and anything else that I've got going on. I do not sell my list, so you can rest assured you're not going to get extra emails from anybody else. It's just a way for me to communicate with you. So feel free. Jason, thank you so much for cruising by. Bez, I hope you got some ideas out of this. We are going to wrap this up because the doggy is making the I'm hungry noises behind me. You may be able to hear that. So I'm going to go and take care of him. And I will see you next Thursday. I'm here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with a different topic. You are always welcome to come and bring questions, either about the topic I'm covering or other questions. I'm more than happy to cover those too. And like I said, if you're catching this on the replay, go ahead, throw any questions or comments in, and I will get back to you. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.